Today, we're diving into some jaw-dropping stories about wild animals that became unexpected heroes, saving humans from danger in the most incredible ways. Our first story takes us to the jungles of Africa, where a herd of elephants displayed their remarkable intelligence and empathy. One hot afternoon, a group of tourists was on a safari, eagerly searching for wildlife. Suddenly, they spotted an injured man lying on the ground near a watering hole. He had been hiking and fell, suffering a serious injury. The guide quickly called for help, but as they waited, a herd of elephants approached. The tourists watched in awe as the matriarch of the herd, sensing the distress, moved closer. She nudged the man gently with her trunk, trying to lift him up. Remarkably, the other elephants formed a protective circle around the man, shielding him from the sun while their leader worked to get him to his feet. The tourists couldn't believe their eyes. These gentle giants were saving a human life. Eventually, the elephants helped him stand, and when the rescue team arrived, they found the man conscious and grateful, thanks to the incredible actions of the elephant herd. Next up, we travel to the frigid Arctic, where a dog's loyalty shines bright against the harsh landscape. During a treacherous expedition in the Arctic, a team of explorers faced a fierce blizzard. Visibility was nearly zero, and the howling winds threatened to tear them apart. One explorer, named Jack, became separated from the group, lost in the whiteout conditions. With dwindling hope, Jack felt himself growing weaker, succumbing to the cold. Just as despair settled in, his trusty sled dog, Max, ventured away from the sled to find him. Through the storm, Max sniffed the air, his instincts guiding him. After what felt like hours, Max finally spotted Jack, who was nearly frozen and unable to move. The brave dog nudged him, whimpering softly, encouraging Jack to grab hold of his harness. With newfound strength, Jack managed to pull himself up, and Max led him back to the safety of the sled team. The explorers were astonished by Max's determination and loyalty. Thanks to this courageous dog, Jack's life was saved that day. Now let's head to the ocean, where dolphins have shown they're more than just playful creatures. While surfing in Australia, a man named Tom suddenly found himself in distress. A strong current pulled him away from the shore, and he struggled against the waves. Panic set in as he realized he was far from safety, gasping for breath. Just when he thought all hope was lost, a pod of dolphins appeared out of nowhere. The dolphins swam around him, creating a barrier that kept him afloat. They seemed to sense his struggle and guided him back toward the shore. As Tom swam with all his might, the dolphins stayed by his side, navigating through the treacherous waters together. Finally reaching the safety of the beach, Tom collapsed on the sand, overwhelmed with gratitude. He couldn't believe that these intelligent and playful creatures had saved his life, a story he would tell for years to come. Next, we travel to the Wild West, where a horse's bravery becomes legendary. During a fierce storm, a young girl named Sarah was riding her beloved horse Thunder through the hills. The winds howled and dark clouds loomed ominously. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck nearby, causing Thunder to rear up in fright. In the chaos, Sarah fell off and landed hard on the ground, unconscious. Thunder, sensing something was wrong, bolted back to their ranch, where Sarah's father was searching frantically for her. As soon as he saw Thunder return without Sarah, he mounted another horse and raced back to the storm. Thunder, seemingly knowing where to go, led the way straight to Sarah. When they arrived, her father found her lying unconscious. Thanks to Thunder's instincts and determination, he was able to get Sarah medical attention just in time. This incredible bond between a girl and her horse became a story of legend in their town. Our next story involves a surprising twist, an animal with an unexpected knack for first aid. In a small village near a national park, a hiker named Mike found himself in a precarious situation. He had been out in the woods for days and accidentally cut himself on a sharp rock, leading to a deep wound. Alone and in pain, he couldn't walk back to safety. One evening, as he sat on the forest floor, feeling hopeless, a curious bear approached. Instead of running away, the bear seemed intrigued by Mike's condition. To his astonishment, the bear rummaged through a nearby bush and pulled out a handful of herbs. In an unbelievable twist of fate, the bear approached him and dropped the herbs at Mike's feet, almost as if it knew they had healing properties. Realizing he had no other options, Mike used the herbs to dress his wound. Over the next few days, the bear kept visiting, bringing more herbs. Mike managed to get better and eventually made it back to the village, crediting the bear with saving his life. Now get ready for a story that might sound unbelievable. A tiny squirrel saving the day. While taking a stroll through a quiet park, a woman named Linda was enjoying a sunny afternoon when suddenly she felt a sharp pain in her leg. A snake had bitten her. Panicking, she stumbled back, realizing she was alone. Just then, a squirrel appeared, chattering loudly and drawing attention. The little creature darted back and forth, seemingly trying to alert someone. Passers-by noticed the frantic squirrel and followed it, leading them straight to Linda. They quickly called for help, and the paramedics arrived just in time to treat her. Linda was amazed at how this tiny animal, with its instinctive behavior, had saved her life. The squirrel's actions became legendary in the park, a reminder that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Our next story is one of the most incredible, an encounter with a whale that changed a life forever. While kayaking off the coast of California, a marine biologist named Emma was enjoying the serene beauty of the ocean. Suddenly, a powerful wave capsized her kayak, throwing her into the frigid waters. As she struggled to stay afloat, panic set in. Just then, a massive humpback whale surfaced nearby. Instead of swimming away, the whale approached Emma, gently nudging her with its gigantic head. Emma clung to the whale's fin as it swam toward the shore, effortlessly lifting her above the waves. As they neared the beach, onlookers gasped at the sight of this majestic creature saving a human. When they reached the shore, Emma couldn't believe her eyes. She had just experienced a miracle thanks to the incredible instincts of a wild whale. This unforgettable encounter sparked her passion for marine conservation as she dedicated her life to protecting these magnificent creatures. Next up, a story that showcases the incredible bond between humans and rhinos. In a remote village near a wildlife reserve, a little boy named Kofi loved exploring the nearby jungle. One day, he wandered a bit too far and accidentally stumbled upon a sleeping rhinoceros. Startled, the rhino jolted awake and charged at Kofi. In a twist of fate, a nearby ranger noticed the commotion and quickly intervened, shouting to distract the rhino. But instead of fleeing, the rhino stopped and turned, recognizing the ranger. To everyone's shock, the rhino began to approach Kofi slowly. The ranger could only watch in awe as the rhino nuzzled the boy gently, almost as if it was protecting him from the panic of the situation. Kofi's bravery and the rhino's unexpected gentleness became a local legend. From that day on, Kofi dedicated his life to wildlife conservation, inspired by that extraordinary encounter. Now for a story that's downright astonishing, an encounter with a python that turned into a life-saving moment. While camping in the rainforests of South America, a group of friends set up their tents near a riverbank. One evening, while they were cooking, they noticed a large python slithering towards them. Initially terrified, they thought they were in danger. However, as the python approached, it seemed more curious than threatening. Suddenly, a venomous snake lunged from the underbrush, aiming for one of the campers. To everyone's astonishment, the python intercepted the attack, wrapping around the venomous snake and neutralizing the threat. The campers watched in disbelief as nature unfolded before their eyes. This massive snake had saved them. After the encounter, the campers realized that not all snakes are enemies, and that sometimes nature has its own way of protecting us. They left the rainforest with a newfound respect for wildlife and a story they would never forget. And there you have times when wild animals stepped up to save humans in the most extraordinary ways. Have you had any wild encounters with animals? Share your stories in the comments below.